This is the office.
So when I get there, when I get back to Chicago, I can come right there on 63rd, huh?
Yes, come right in and check me out.
Yeah, that's
We're
right.
exactly at 6254 South Ashland.
Now you've been there how long?
It's been just over a year now. We opened in December of 2020.
I love it. I love it.
Right before that entire thing happened.
Well, we got 30 minutes carved out. I want people first to know who you are. I'm gonna say what you mean to me before you speak. And those who know me know I'm from Chicago originally, and I live in Georgia and Indiana right now. And I stay connected with our Chicago superstars, and this queen here is one of them that I met going door to door. Didn't know she was connected to another superstar. I found that out, so that just strengthened the relationship even more so. And I just appreciate her so much for being positivity in the midst of oasis in the desert, being positivity right there in the midst of people who have a lot of barriers to overcome every single day. So this is someone you're about to hear from that is in the neighborhood, not living on the outside, coming in the neighborhood. So your support, your business that you do with this queen is definitely staying in the neighborhood, and that positivity is going to help change the direction of this in the city. So without further ado, welcome. How are you?
I am very well, Sad. Thank you so much, first of all, for that introduction. And also, thank you so much for just having me. I'm very excited to be a part of your platform right now.
So who are you? Like you're a mother, you're a grandmother, you live, in the neighborhood?
Yeah, so I am a longtime Englewood resident. I've been an Englewood resident since the age of 5. My grandmother purchased her first home in Englewood, and I've always I lived with my grandmother from the time I was 5 up until the age of 18. So she was the person that introduced us to the great community of Englewood. And you're right, you actually met me going door to door. I used to have a home over on Marshfield, and that was the home that I raised my kids in. Just a little about myself. I was married at a very young age, and by the time you knocked on my door, a lot had happened. So I was really excited to meet someone that was in the community. All right. So I am a mother of 4 kids, 3 adults, 1 16-year-old. I am a widow. I lost my husband in 2006. And, I just, long time Englewood resident, someone that not only is in the community to make sure that we're helping our people, but I am someone that, resides in the community.
Now, the shape of it, since you've been there so long, have you seen the community get better, worse? Were you there when the white people was there? Like, give us a little background.
Yeah, I wasn't here when the white people were here. I moved into the community, I want to say 1983, something like that, 1982. I was a kid growing up, so if there were a lot of things going on, I probably wasn't paying too much attention to it. I had a great childhood, honestly, in Englewood. Grew up with a lot of family around me. Went to some great schools here in the community. So I had a great upbringing. So, I think now the Englewood that I see today is definitely different than what I saw as a kid. And not just from, the standpoint that people look at it when they think about violence. I'm thinking of it, where I grew up on a block where 95% of the homeowners lived on that block, and so I don't see that too much anymore, unfortunately. And so that is the change that I think that I've seen the most happen when it comes to Englewood.
Yeah. And the last question on the neighborhood: why should people move to Englewood?
Why should they move to Englewood? For me, I just think Englewood is a great community first and foremost. A lot of culture, a lot of connections here, a lot of people that I grew up with. If they don't still live in a community, they're still involved heavily in the community. And I stay in the community, one, because just transportation wise, I mean, Englewood is a place that you can get to fairly easily, right? Just a huge transportation hub. If I wanted to, lead a community and say travel to the South Loop or downtown Chicago, I can get there in less than 10 minutes, So it's a great community for culture. I have a lot of connections here. Family members still stay here, childhood friends friends who still live here, and this is why I decided to open my business here, because it's my community, and I wanted to see something that I haven't seen here in a very long time, not just, an insurance business in the Englewood community, but also just a lot of Black owned businesses. So I definitely wanted to be a part of something like that.
Well, you just said it. I was about to bring that in. What do you do and how did you get started?
Yeah, so I own an insurance brokerage company right here on the south side of Chicago. I've been in the insurance industry since about 2012. I got into the insurance industry. I kind of stumbled into this industry. It wasn't something that I was necessarily looking to do. Prior to getting into this industry, I was actually a licensed clinical therapist. I practiced psychology in the state of Illinois since 2000. There for a while. I told you that my husband passed away. So I lost, not only, my husband, the king of our household, but I also lost 50% of our household income. So, in an attempt to create a second stream of income to help to raise our 4 kids, I got an insurance license. And I got to the point where I just really, really enjoyed what I was doing on the insurance side. And I decided to make that my full-time career. And that's how I got into the insurance industry.
So for those people, what's the market like? Is it a lot of Black people doing insurance? I remember reading that insurance was the #1 place that Black people spend money back 20 years ago, 2001, that it was the highest, $130 billion Blacks in the US spent on insurance. Nothing came close. The next closest dollar amount was 52 billion. So you're talking like, Black people spend the most on insurance. Is that valid from your perspective? Do you see that?
I don't know if that is. I mean, if you read it, obviously there must be some truth to it. But I can tell you what I remember 20, 30 years ago in insurance. I remember just being a kid, watching people, the insurance agents going door to door, coming to, my grandmother's home, picking up her insurance premium and leaving. And I think that, 20, 30 years ago, our grandparents and our parents were definitely investing in insurance, but unfortunately they were not investing to the point that they should have been investing. One of the things that I'm trying to get out, nowadays is, when our grandparents and our parents were purchasing insurance, they were purchasing it strictly for, funeral costs. They were not thinking about, we have homes that are going to have to be maintained when we pass. We have assets, we have businesses, we have whatever. They were not thinking of insurance, as asset protection, as income replacement. They were really just looking at insurance from the perspective of funeral costs. And so, although that is definitely a part of insurance, that's just a very, very, very small piece of it. And so one of the things that I want to do in my practice is get people thinking about insurance from that perspective of income replacement, asset protection, business succession planning. You know what I'm saying? Like being in a position where we're creating these generational assets using life insurance as, a conduit to actually do it. So that is how I want to see people using life insurance going forward, because unfortunately 20, 30 years ago, that was not happening, unfortunately.
Now, when you some words you use there, and because I go door to door, I get a chance to meet people in their comfortable environment, and the difference there is people give you the raw reality. Like you're gonna hear some stuff you won't hear in the community meeting when you go door to door.
That's true.
And so
very true. Yeah.
There's some people who are intimidated by the word assets, asset management. You use some words there that I can just come to mind. Some people I knock on the door with, they'll run away from that. Look, I don't get into that, or my wife handled that, or so. What do you say to the people in that arena that's afraid of big words like assets and stuff like that?
You broke up a little. What do I say to them about? You broke up just a little bit, Si.
Yeah, the word assets is foreign to some of our people. So how do you, like, is that part of your strategy to get people comfortable with this higher level of financial literacy?
I try to get people thinking about life insurance from a different perspective, right? I don't want us to just think about it from such a limited viewpoint. So when I use words assets and income replacement, generally I start with income replacement because a lot of times the people that I'm talking to, they have family members, they have kids, they have maybe disabled parents, they have people that depend on their income. And a lot of times I talk to them from that viewpoint. Well, if something were to happen to you, how do we replace your income to continue to provide,
Right.
healthcare, to continue to provide, housing, to continue to provide food for your loved ones? How do we do that? And so, one of the easiest ways that we could do that is something as simple as life insurance. And so I kind of take that strategy first. And in talking to these people, you get to understanding like what they, what they own, what their goals are, what they want their financial future to look like, what they want their financial legacy to look like. And then that's when we get into the talk and the discussions of assets. Like, okay, you own this home, when something happens to you, or, because it's inevitable, we're all going to at some point, move on to another, universe, another, what have you. Once that happens, what do you want to happen to this home? Do you want this home to, continue in your family legacy, or do you want your family to lose it, say in taxes, and then someone come into the community and purchase it and leave it for their family? Like how do we want to strategize this? What is it that we want to do? Like, what are your goals? And so once they tell me what it is that they're looking to do, because most people, when they work hard and they purchase, buildings and properties and have businesses, they don't want to just let it go. They want to build it up for the next generation. And so I just start those discussions on helping them to think bigger on how is it that we can keep this in your family going forward.
So because of the violence, insurance does matter. Is it real expensive, like to have the burial, and then what's the difference from a burial to the next level? What you're talking about, asset income replacement, is it a big difference?
Well, it's a big difference in terms of what it is that the person is trying to accomplish. So you said, you asked me what's the cost of a burial. I'm assuming of a funeral, right? The average cost of a funeral nowadays is about, $9,000 to $10,000. You could definitely do it cheaper. You could definitely do it more. But on average, you're looking at about $9,000 to $10,000, depending on what is it that you are trying to accomplish, right? So, I don't really offer clients $10,000 policies unless you're like, older, right? And you have assets, and maybe you're just looking for something, or maybe your income only dictates that you can afford so much. Fine, right? But if you're someone, 20, 30, 40, 50, we're not talking about $10,000 of insurance. Because again, we're not just thinking about burial costs. We're not just thinking about funeral costs. We're thinking about longevity. We're thinking about income replacement. We're thinking about, your future generation. We're thinking about how can we develop and create your financial legacy, right? So we're not necessarily, trying to get people into $10,000 policies. That's
No,
what our parents and our grandparents heard.
right.
We're not. We're trying to do something a bit different.
Yeah. So what's
Yeah, trying to do something a bit different.
what's the process? So someone here to watch this video, they just call you, and then what happens next?
Yeah, if anyone is interested in, any type of consultation, they would definitely just reach out. I am available for in-person meetings. I'm also available for Zoom meetings. So what happens is I listen to them. They tell me what it is that they're looking for, because a lot of times people reach out and they're just like, I just want life insurance. Got it, understood, right? But now what type of life insurance? Because there's so many different types of life insurance. What are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? And so we kind of talk a little bit about, what their income is. How do we replace that income? Do we replace that income for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, right? So we talk about that. We go through, what their budget is. I am responsible for helping them find the money, because a lot of times, life is happening, and we're like, what, I really don't have any extra money to pay anything. And we're like, but you know what, actually you do. Like, let's kind of go through some things and see if we can come up with some strategies where you can pay yourself first, You know what I'm saying? And then once you get into that type of mindset, then we can go ahead and move on to coming up with a budget that actually works for you when it comes to life insurance. So they would reach out to me. I would definitely always follow up. We'll set up some time to do a consultation. Generally takes about 15 to 20 minutes. And then from that point, we just move forward. We're getting them into a plan that actually works for them and their family.
Now, do they need to pay you for this consultation?
No, consultations are free. They won't be charged anything until they actually approved. Even when you do the application for insurance, you don't pay anything. So you won't pay anything until you're actually approved.
So you can be denied.
You can be denied. You can be denied life insurance. Life insurance is something that's, it's depending on your health, right? So you can be denied it. But, the good thing about working with an insurance broker like myself is I work with a lot of different carriers. So I don't just have one insurance company that I work with. I work with about 15 different insurance carriers. So once I talk to the person and we're talking through, what they're looking for, we ask questions about their health, we ask questions about their background. Once I have an idea, a full picture, sort of, what it is that they're looking for, I can then identify the best carrier for them to kind of minimize that they will be denied for any type of insurance, because we're not looking for denials. We want people to get approved.
Is that a big deal? Do a lot of people get denied?
No, I wouldn't say a lot of people get denied. Some people have gotten denied. And again, it's depending on a lot of different, factors, right? But most people do get approved. Most people get approved.
Okay.
So because if one company want to accept them, there are other companies that would.
Right. So for the future, this is 2021. COVID is out here. Do you feel optimistic about our people getting more conscious about the need for succession planning? What's your take on what you're seeing?
I think people are definitely starting to take it more seriously. 2020 was a year where a lot more people were reaching out to me for insurance. I think that, they see things happening. We've seen a lot of death, unfortunately, in 2020. And I think people are really just starting to take it seriously. Like, hey, I'm not planning for my death, right? I'm planning to, protect everything just in case. I mean, like, you should definitely, if you have a home, you want to do estate planning, right? You have kids, you want to have wheels in place, so you kind of look at life insurance just like that. It's just a part of my financial planning, and it's just something that I want to have in place just in case.
Do you go out and do seminars, or everyone has to come to you? I know you do Zoom too, but do you go out like to community events and stuff?
I do. Due to COVID, there haven't been too many. But prior to that, I definitely was out in the community, talking to people, serving as a vendor at different events, just talking about, what it is that we do here at Price Insurance Brokers, but also just, handing out brochures, letting people know the different benefits of insurance, particularly life insurance.
All right. So,
so I'm always out here in the community side, always.
Now, how do people reach you? I know you gave the address earlier.
Yeah, so I'm right here at 6254 South Ashland, right next to Jackson Hewitt. If you're from Chicago, 630 Ashland, very busy area. So I'm right here. You can just walk up, come in if you want. You can also give me a call. I don't know if you want to put my telephone number in a comment or anything, or you can just visit my website. My website is called yourfinanciallegacyplan.com. yourfinanciallegacyplan.com, because again, we're starting to think about life insurance as legacy planning, as financial planning, as financial building, and just making sure that we have our assets all protected.
No, I love it. Did I leave anything out?
No, I think you covered everything. Once again, Sai, thank you so much. I've always been a stand-up guy. I really enjoy working with you. I love, the platform and everything that you've been doing in the community since I met you back in 2008 or something like that. Probably, I don't even remember. I just remember
it was a long time
knocking
ago.
on the door with kids. It was a very long time ago. But just thank you again for the opportunity to talk on your platform about something that's near and dear to me, and I definitely want our community to start taking just a little bit more seriously.
Now, one
So
quick
thank
question:
you.
Do you insure events?
So my organization now, effective January 4th or something like that, we offer all lines of insurance. All right, so you can come to us to get, auto insurance, general liability insurance, directors and officers insurance if you're a nonprofit. You can come and get all lines of insurance with us now. But my specialty is life insurance. But we do offer all lines of insurance effective 2021, so we're very excited about that.
Well, so that's SR22 as well, right?
All of it, all of it. Listen, I'm about to wrap my windows with the SR22 because so many people have been coming in asking about that for 2020. So I'm like, let me go ahead and make that a, you can drive up, you see SR22 right there. So yeah, so we definitely offer that as well.
And do you think the community know you're there?
I definitely could do a better job of marketing that. I'm in a really good place where people could drive past and see it. It's an actual storefront. So I do have people that walk in off the streets, people that drive past. But I definitely could do a better job of letting the community know that I am here, because what we're a community of 50,000 people. So that's a lot of people to actually reach. So yeah, I definitely could do a better job of that.
Because what I was thinking, especially on Marshfield, right in the immediate walking distance area, we got our leaders. I've been telling them about you ever since. But sometimes people need a reason to come. So if you're doing a Wednesday, that's our economic day, training, that type of thing, then that gives them a reason to come in there for the training and then learn about the whole shebang of what you do,
Yeah, that's a great idea. It's a great idea.
But I'm here. We'll make sure we get the word out. But that'll be a reason, like Cuba and some of our superstars to come in, tell their friends, come on in and listen at this, what they talking about. You need to plan and so forth.
Absolutely, absolutely. I definitely would love to do something like that.
Excellent. All right. Sure. Well, you didn't want to get your number out, or you comfortable with that or not?
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. My number is 312-753-9042. 312-753-9042. You can call me, you can text me. Again, you can visit my website, yourfinanciallegacyplan.com, or you can just stop by. I am going to get back because I used to do like the coffee and Danishes type of a deal. But again, COVID shut all of that down. But I am going to be getting back into doing something like that really soon, so people can just stop in, have a cup of coffee. And let's just talk about your financial legacy.
I love it. I love it. Excellent. On Economic Wednesday, you guys heard it directly from one of our superstars. So let's do business with each other. Peace. All right, Queen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much.